Gotta remember that nobody's better than anyone else here. You need some time to think it over. Look what they do to you, look what they do to me. You must be joking if you think that either one is free here. Get up off your knees, girl. Stand face to face with your God. Find out what you are. Hello, my name is you.
Robotic human surrogates combine the durability of a machine with the grace and beauty of the human body. With most people living their lives through their surrogate selves, our world has become a safer place. Take a seat in your STEM chair, and just with the power of your mind, you can control your surrogate and send it out into the real world. You can live your life without limitations. You see what they see, feel what they feel, and become anyone you want to be from the comfort and safety of your own home. You can finally live the life you've always dreamt of without any risk or danger to yourself.
We are confronted with an unprecedented situation. 2 people have died while connected to their surrogates.
I think we may actually have a homicide here. First one in 15 years.
The public cannot be allowed to get the idea that using a surrogate can be fatal.
Especially if it's true. I just want to know how an operator can be killed by signals from a surrogate.
Surreys have been blown to bits without the least bit of harm to their operators. If it were possible, it would defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy.
Oh my God, Tom?
You're lucky to be alive. Good thing you're unplugged.
How long is it since you've been out without a surrogate?
Can't even remember.
It's different when you actually feel the pain.
What do you want from me?
My wife.
I am your wife.
No, you're not.
You changed the world and now you want to destroy it?
How do I stop this?
You can't.
Maggie, get offline. I think something's gonna happen.
What happens now? Now it's up to you.
How many androids does it take to remove a light bulb? None. Androids can see in the dark. This planet is inhabited by nearly 7 billion human beings. Each and every person is allotted a certain duration within which to live out their biological life. As I examined human beings closer and closer, I began to discover some anomalies in human behavior. Coupled with my own extensive research into the technological basis for existence, I realized that these anomalies were pointing to a redefinition of some humans. Verily, I concluded that those anomalies in behavior were consistent with machine behavior, and that these machine-like people were better described as androids, and these androids were living among us. To discuss the size and weight of this discussion, I determined that I would require some elemental proof, rather than discuss a farmer or a schoolgirl, because these subjects have little influence on society. I chose to identify and highlight prominent people. All of my chosen subjects are significant political players in the US government. This does not exclude other governments, nor does it suggest any negative connotation to the United States governing body. I have only identified my best examples given my limited resources.
I believe the position of the United States Chamber of Commerce is a solid position.
We can expect a multitude of similar cases in every part of the world. That is to say, androids are not just U.S. citizens, and neither are they just politicians.
They have endorsed this legislation.
Again, the idea of inserting an advanced android being into an existential civilization is a very profound concept, and it is done with a lot of care and attention. As you will discover, these people did not crash land their spaceship, nor did they time travel into this world. They were inserted many years ago.
The Republican moderates struck an agreement.
To suggest that an android is inserted is to suggest that another party, unidentified, is working behind the scenes. It is also suggesting that this unidentified party is advanced enough to not only create a synthetic human, but also can program it to influence society, all without society noticing their manipulations. Given the quality of my examples, I estimate that this technology is 1,000 years ahead of human science today. It is so advanced that you have not noticed the android on the screen. Let's observe. The white-haired man in the center is a synthetic person. Our first clue is his rate of blinking. He is blinking so fast that it is comparable to REM sleep, rapid eye movement.
Let us sit in on the floor of the House of Representatives around gun control. And when we see the spike in some of the violence in our communities, John Lewis did that and saw it as you.
Our second clue is his relative position. He is always situated to the left of the speaker, behind them. Our third clue is his pattern of influence. When he is behind the speaker, he blinks repeatedly.
Now, thank you all for being here, and we continue our relentless effort to defeat the Chinese virus. Before I begin, I want to start by announcing that today we are bringing home another American citizen. It was a big thing, very big.
When he is away, he stops blinking.
How much all of us work together to produce legislation, which I think will go a long, long way to meet the needs here to turn this recession around. This bill will create about 3.5 million jobs. We're showing to them that people who've lost jobs.
Our fourth clue is his energy signature. From my own personal observation, he is neither human nor is he non-human or star person in energy signature. He is also not a clone. Given the lack of options, we are led to think he is synthetic of a very advanced nature. Finally, our fifth clue is the general observation. A synthetic being is a machine, a transmitter-receiver, much like a mobile phone. A synthetic device is employed at times of influence. This is a high-profile press conference and a good place to insert an android's influence. To understand his blinking, we refer to our computer. Whenever you insert a DVD into the drive bay, or you plug in a USB drive, you'll notice a blinking light as the computer reads the data. Fast blinking means data reading or transmission. The white-haired android blinks rapidly because he is transmitting data. To whom? To the speaker, so as to ensure the speaker speaks on topic. So each speaker in turn receives his data transmission. This points to a very disturbing notion. If the white-haired android is transmitting data, and if there are many androids, then who is managing the android mainframe? Who is the puppeteer? Or more importantly, where are they?
In demand between this year and next year, then we have to backfill this economy with a fiscal stimulus approach. Secondly, it is important to make sure that every provision that is included in this stimulus package will be designed and geared towards creating jobs and making those necessary investments. So that we have the tax relief that's so critical to low-income and middle-income America. We've preserved the president's signature item, Make Work Tax Credit, the alternative minimum tax, preserving jobs and investments in small business. They're going to be the lifeline to our economic reversal.
The blinking, the pattern of movement, the relative position, the importance of the event all lead us to redefine example X, a white-haired man, as a living android. Therefore, where are his builders? Are they in a higher dimension? Are they inside the white-haired man for the duration of the conference and then step away until needed? Now, androids, like computers, are built for different purposes. This white-haired man is positioned on the left rear. Now, did you notice the android on the right rear?
Netherlands, Australia, Canada, Thailand, Sweden, Denmark, South Korea.
Very pleased to have been a part of this. I know that there's a lot of differences, both sides of the aisle, both the House and the Senate, and even with the President.
You didn't notice him because he is not blinking. In fact, he is staring. He has an almost catatonic demeanor, quite unusual and out of place. Yet,
very closely, a lot of states do. When Mike was governor, Mike Pence of Indiana, they've established great health care.
He is wholly aware of his environs. He is not mentally handicapped.
Senator Lieberman.
Thanks, Senator Reid. Working together under Harry Reid's patient, usually soft, but occasionally quite tough leadership, we came a long way in a relatively short time to achieve something.
Now, the synthetic person who was in a relative position behind the previous speakers, who was influencing what they said and the topic of their discussion, now comes himself to the forefront and finishes off the audience manipulation. He has carefully steered the conversation and prepped the audience in order to receive his glory-filled statements in order to secure the deal and to win whatever presentation they're trying to do.
Turnaround for the American economy. It will protect or create millions of jobs. It will put billions of dollars into the pockets of hard-working American people so that they can go out and spend it and grow the economy. This, in my opinion, is a turning point. We're not going to get back to where our economy was overnight, but I think this represents the beginning of turning our economy around and leading to a better day full of opportunity for the American people. I was proud to work with this group, proud to be part of it. Without the three Republican colleagues, the Senate could not have come to the table. Without a great spirit of compromise from the White House, the House, and the Senate, we would not be able to announce this agreement today. Thank you.
So the synthetic person was employed here in this manner to steer policy in a certain but mistaken direction. The fact that their guaranteed economic plan failed miserably also is another clue that this was a careful audience manipulation by a synthetic group of beings, well hidden behind society. We're going to play the press conference now in different speeds so that you can see what is really going on. Again, pay attention to the two white-haired individuals behind the speaker. The three of them in a triangular position remind us of a pattern used by military jets. There is the lead jet saddled with one or two other jets as protection. In our case, we have a speaker and two androids. The android on the left is transmitting data because he is blinking. The android on the right is not blinking. What is he doing? He may be providing some kind of energy shielding. These two men behind the speaker are unusual cases. The man to your right is extremely unusual. In fact, he is quite obviously unusual.
We all understand the process hasn't been easy, but passage of a responsible answer to the crisis is now in sight. I want to take this time to express my appreciation to my counterpart, Senator McConnell. We worked together for the good of the country. I am so...
Once again, we find the man that was situated on the right rear in your viewing to your left. The glaring, quiet, non-blinking, elderly politician. Here he is again, in the same position as an earlier press conference. Again, we have an important press conference. And soon we will see him yet again in an even more important press conference. Notice his demeanor. Notice his position. If you could measure his energy signature, you would measure that he is not in the spectrum of normal biological existence.
You've been blocked from being able to excel. I didn't take it as a joke. It ain't no joke, as Rakim said. It ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it and make sure it's broke. That's what I was raised on, Rakim, Fife Dog, hip hop, expression, hip hop. Started out in the park. Now everybody's trying to charge. I don't give a how much you sold. If you playing on radio, are you connecting? Picasso is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Walt Disney is dead. Name somebody living that you can name in the same breath as them. Don't tell me about being likable. We got 100 years here. We're one race, the human race, one civilization. We're a blip in the existence of the universe. And we constantly trying to pull each other down, not doing things to help each other. That's my point. It's like I'm shaking talking about, I know it's daytime TV, but I feel that I can make a difference while I'm here. I feel that I can make things better through my skill set. My skills, I'm an artist. 5 years old, art school, PhD, Art Institute of Chicago. I am an artist. I have a condition called synesthesia where I see sounds. I see them. Everything that I sonically make is a painting. I see it. I see the importance. I see the importance and the value of everyone being able to experience a more beautiful life. When I make clothes, it's funny because I would sit there with Obama and Leo's talking about the environment, and then I'm talking about clothes, and everyone looks at me like that's not an important issue or something. But I remember going to school like in 5th grade and wanting to have a cool outfit. I called the head of Payless. I'm like, I want to work with you. I want to take all this information that I learned from sitting at all these fashion shows and knocking at all these doors and buying all this expensive clothes, and I want to take away bullying. You know,
If you could measure his energy signature, you would measure that he is not in the spectrum of normal biological existence.
But, oh my goodness, John Avalon.
He's a good man. Oh.
We had to show this picture, that's what I
Doing well. Long time. We've been friends for a long time. Life. We discussed life.
Money in 2020. Do you think that's something you still want to do in life as needed? Kanye, are you considering performing at the inauguration next week? Kanye, no comment about your meeting with the president-elect. This is the president-elect of the United States. Nothing to say?
I just want to take a picture right now.
But, oh my goodness, John Avalon.
He's a good man. Oh.
We had to show this picture, that's what I
Doing well. Long time. We've been friends for a long time. Life. We discussed life.
Money in 2020. Do you think that's something you still want to do in life as needed?
I don't get any weapons or anything like that.
It's the 911 call made the night Kanye West suffered a mental breakdown.
You're his doctor, sir, is that correct? Yes, correct.
Kanye's personal physician, Dr. Michael Farzam, called 911 after the singer acted erratically at his trainer's house. Dr. Farzam is a concierge physician who makes house calls in his BMW. He requested police backup.
I'm just calling for my cell phone to request if we can have some police backup because I don't think the paramedics, I think he definitely is going to need to be hospitalized.
According to reports, the doctor told 911 he needed help for a male with mental illness. To protect Kanye's identity, the doctor identified him as Jim Jones. As Jim Jones. As Jim Jones.
It started with drones flying high overhead. They killed all our enemies with fire and lead. But then we remade them so they could decide which people lived and which people died. Oh, praise the killer robots, benevolent and wise. They constantly watch us with untiring eyes. Praise the killer robots, merciful and strong. The world we once knew is all but gone. The war only lasted a day and a night. We humans could not put up much of a fight. With nowhere to run and no time to hide, those who were loyal were the ones who survived. So praise the killer robots, considerate and kind. They're inside our homes and they're inside our minds.
Friend, the majority leader's in.
Here he is shielding the most powerful person in the world. Notice the uncanny look, the catatonic glare behind these large eyes. There's a very busy machine. The difficulty in discussing androids is that they are multidimensional creations. Many of their interactions and influences are invisible. For example, they can send thoughts to a person. Obviously, you can't see that on camera. Or in this case, they are shielding a very important person. Most people cannot see those energy effects. In our case, we are not sure what kind of shielding is going on. It may just be a mind shield.
Of whether or not this adds to our deficit, now suddenly you're ignoring what the CBO says. Finally, we agree on reforms that will make coverage affordable for 30 million Americans who don't have it. Adds to our deficit. Now suddenly you're ignoring what the CBO says.
Now you'll notice another clue, a little more proof to my unique observations. None of this has ever been done before in public, so doubt and disbelief is expected. The speaker is speaking. Notice when the speaker changes topic or paragraph. Clearly, the speaker shifted his thinking. Now remember that this second android did not like to blink, unlike the first. But notice that the timing of his blinking with the shift in the speaker's topic.
Finally, we agree on reforms that will make coverage affordable for 30 million Americans.
Let's watch that again.
Adds to our deficit. Now suddenly you're ignoring what the CBO says. Finally, we agree on reforms that will make coverage affordable for 30 million.
He blinks before speaker shifts. Let's put this scene in context. This is the most powerful person in the world. He is protected by the CIA and the security forces. Everyone on his team is security checked. Yet we have this catatonic, big-eyed, uncanny fellow on his right. A similar position he had in the other conference. Isn't it strange for this to go unnoticed by the Secret Service? It isn't strange if this is typical. It isn't strange if there are more of them. It isn't strange if the CIA can't tell the difference, or if they are involved. But to you and me, this is highly unusual. Even if he wasn't an android, it is highly unusual.
We have no evidence at this point that the Chinese government is engaged in any policy or in any actions aimed at wiping out the Tibetans, or in short, reflecting a policy of genocide either against the Tibetan people themselves or against their culture.
At one point in this interview, we see that his mind control programming breaks down.
What about self-determination for Tibetans?
On Sunday, they have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA based on teams winning per on Sunday. They have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA based on teams winning per
Come to my garden. Come play with me. Come to my garden. Come stay with me. Here in a land of enchantment.